who knows the Wilking family, you know how sweet they are.
Disappears from her family's life. She won't give them a reason why. Leave me alone. She's been kicked out of a shared TikTok account, losing access to over 3 million fans. Her parents did not approve of her boyfriend and went to extreme lengths to get rid of him. Dean Wilking called the cops on me. Miranda was kidnapped by me. Her family fears she's been brainwashed and involved in something dark and sinister.
Whatever she's involved in, she's got some kind of control over her that is making her afraid of something.
But what if she doesn't need to be saved? When families fight, things tend to get messy.
This is my mom, Kelly, and my dad, Dean. Since they wanted to make our lives public, we're gonna go live.
But when a daughter changes in front of her family's eyes,
that's my life, and I've definitely changed.
How far will they go to get her back?
That's why we're doing this. We don't know what else to do.
Let's unravel the story of the Wilking sisters.
And this is the item I'll be using for
Business partners need to have a strong relationship, especially if they're sisters. And that's what the Wilking sisters seemed to have when they started their social media careers as a duo. They were best friends who shared the same hobbies, creative spark, and love of family.
I loved that we were the example that, like, siblings can get along, we can have fun together.
Their sisterly bond seemed unbreakable, which made it all the more surprising when it came crashing down.
The fact that they have taken this from us, it just
It's drama.
It kills me.
Miranda and Melanie Wilking are triple threats, known for their singing, acting, and dancing, but it's the latter where they shine. Although Melanie is only 22 and Miranda is just 25, the sisters have already danced with some of the biggest names in the entertainment industry, including Bruno Mars, Iggy Azalea, and Joe Jonas. Outside of their blossoming professional careers, the Michigan-born duo have also amassed quite the following on social media, with over 70,000 followers on Instagram and over 22,000 subscribers on YouTube. But it wasn't until the beginning of the pandemic that the sisters saw their audience on a certain social media platform dramatically jump in numbers. While everyone was stuck at home learning how to make whipped coffees, binging Tiger King, and fumbling through the latest dance trends, the Wilking sisters were finding success. Miranda and Melanie's dance skills and infectious positivity caught the attention of TikTok users quarantined in their bedrooms around the world. Yes! Real dancers, not the TikTok nonsense. While their parents were sometimes featured in their videos, and Miranda's boyfriend James Derrick, also known as B-Dash, would make the occasional appearance, it was Miranda and Melanie's account, and their content reflected that. Over 3 million TikTok viewers had clicked the follow button by the end of 2020, and the sponsorships were rolling in. The sisters appeared to like working together and were happy with the direction their careers were taking. In an interview with Forbes, they said, "We feel being social media influencers is especially important during this time because we encourage people to interact with their families, get up and get active, and be safe, all while laughing and having a good time." But by 2021, the sisters were drifting apart in front of their audience's eyes. Near the end of January 2021, Miranda and Melanie posted a contribution to the Bust It Challenge, a popular trend at the time on TikTok where creators would drop it low to reveal an outfit change, set to Bust It by Eric Banks, or a mashup of the song featuring Best Friend by Saweetie. It was a light, playful video, nothing out of the ordinary when you compare it to the other content on the sisters' page, but it would be the last video Miranda appeared in with Melanie. Miranda had disappeared from the Wilking sisters' channel, and fans were quick to notice. Where's Miranda? You're missing a sister? Sorry to be rude, but where's your sister? You're stunning, by the way. I'm worried about your sister. What happened to Miranda? Melanie reassured fans that her sister's absence was only temporary. I know she's been sick, but we'll be back soon. But the truth was, Melanie didn't know when Miranda would come back to the Wilking sisters' TikTok or if she would come back at all. Less than 2 weeks later, the older sibling did return to social media with her own TikTok account. Miranda's new content didn't include her sister, but featured a whole different cast of characters: herself, her boyfriend and fellow dancer James Derrick, as well as several other fresh faces. All of them were under the same management team, 7M Films Inc. But it wasn't just the people in Miranda's videos that had changed, the content had also transformed. The production value was higher, the filming locations were different, and there were random features from dance heavyweights like Twitch and Allison Holker Boss. Even Miranda was changing. In April 2021, Miranda had her signature long locks professionally chopped off and went noticeably blonder. Her separation from her sister was no longer just virtual, but physical. One video posted in August 2021 is especially haunting, considering what was to come. In the TikTok captioned "Puppet Master," Miranda's boyfriend dances behind her, as if he's in control of an invisible string guiding her every movement. Was James controlling Miranda, or was the real Puppet Master off camera, just out of view? Later that month, James proposed to Miranda. The intimate moment was captured for TikTok, set to Frank Sinatra's "Fly Me to the Moon." The couple was married just 1 month later in Las Vegas, though according to a TikToker, their marriage license has yet to be found in public records. In January, Miranda posted a TikTok dancing to "My Life" by Billy Joel. Despite her smile in the video, the caption held a cryptic message. Who did Miranda want to leave her alone? She never mentioned any names, never gave any clues. Later, fans would return to this video and find it eerie. "You're in danger, get out!" Absolutely no way. Is anyone gonna notice the little green spots popping up on her shirt like she's in a green screen? But at the time, nobody knew any better. What did Miranda's family think of all these sudden changes? Miranda, and the rest of the internet, was about to find out. Throughout all of Miranda's changes, her family had stayed silent, but not anymore. On February 24th, 2022, Miranda's family went live on Instagram, and they were ready to expose everything.
Yeah, it's just a very uncomfortable topic that has been haunting us for over a year now. It's definitely been the hardest year of my life.
In the candid stream, the 3 members of the Wilking family, Melanie, her mother Kelly, and her father Dean, each clutched tissues as they discussed Miranda. They recorded the video on Miranda's birthday, the second one they were spending without her. According to the Wilkings, Miranda had cut contact with them and blocked any family member that tried to reach out on social media, including her Grammy. In hindsight, they said everything went back to January 2021.
January 18th was the worst day of our lives of last year.
That was the day Miranda and Melanie were supposed to fly home to Michigan for their papa's funeral, but Miranda never got on the plane.
30 minutes before we were leaving for the airport, Miranda calls my mom and dad and says she's not coming home.
And her excuses were not adding up.
She said she had COVID. She did not have COVID. We had had it the month prior. I mean, she was not sick at all. And she even said it. She even admitted that it wasn't because of COVID. She was just making that up. And that she just couldn't come
And that
home.
she was sorry and we won't understand.
To the Wilkings, it didn't make sense that Miranda would skip her grandfather's funeral, a man who had always been their daughter's biggest supporter. Concerned for their eldest daughter, the Wilking parents paid her a visit in California. But the Miranda they found was a very different girl from the one they had known. She was distant, disconnected, and frightened.
I said, "Please come home to Papa's funeral. You're going to regret it." And she said, I'll see. And I said, "Well, who do you have to ask?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm afraid I'm going to make a mistake. I'm just learning." So whatever she's involved in, she's got some kind of control over her that is making her afraid of something.
Eventually, Kelly and Dean had to let their daughter go.
My dad even texted me because I was in Michigan and they were here, and he said she keeps saying that she has to go film videos with James. B-Dash, should I let her go? And I said, well, if you let her go, that'll be the last time you're going to see her. And it was.
The drawers in her apartment were empty. Miranda was gone.
Mga mamshi, eto makmakmakatipid kayo, makmakmakmakasulit kayo, makmakmakmakmak.
Chicken ba hanap mo? Makmakmakdo na yan! Affordable na chicken McDo, filet at sandwich. Siguradong makmakmakakatipid ka!
The best way I describe it to people is like, I feel like she died. Like, I feel like she died from our family, yet she's still like around. So there's still hope that she'll come around, but she's gone.
Melanie was left to take over their shared TikTok account, the one Miranda had originally started, and Miranda continued her new life, a life her family was no longer a part of. But what had caused this radical change in Miranda? What was it that her own family wouldn't be able to understand? According to the Wilking family, Miranda had joined a religious organization in California. Melanie was familiar with the group because, just like Miranda, she had been invited.
I did go, I did like it at first, and then I realized there were numerous red flags that I could not ignore and knew that it was not something I wanted to be involved in.
Melanie's rejection of the organization caused a rift between her and Miranda, who had previously been as close as two sisters can be.
And if you guys know, we never fought. Miranda and I were very strange. We were attached at the hip. We didn't fight about anything. And then towards the end, as soon as I decided to leave this organization and Miranda decided to stay, we were fighting constantly.
It was clear Miranda's values had shifted drastically from what they had been recently.
She was home for the quarantine time. So Miranda and Melanie were home in Michigan for 7 months. And so that's really right before all of this happened. She was herself. I mean, she would sit there and she would, like always, I love my family. Like we would be in the car. I love everyone in this car. She said to me, she's like, well, to all of us, but mainly to Melanie, she was like, can you believe that we're actually living our dream? That everything that we've ever hoped for has come true. And that we are sisters that love each other and are working together and everything. She never talked about marriage. She never talked about anything like that being any time soon.
The Wilkings never named the organization they're talking about in their Instagram Live, but it was heavily implied to be 7M Films, the management team that represents Miranda, James, and those other dancers that appeared in Miranda's TikToks. 7M Films is owned by Robert I. Shin, a pastor who also founded Shekinah Church in 2009. Interestingly, Shekinah Church allegedly has no physical church venue, according to corporation filings referenced by the Daily Beast. The church only seems to operate in an office space, a location it allegedly shares with 7M Films. Pastor Shin's son, Isaiah Shin, is the man behind the camera in many of Miranda's and other 7M Films dance videos as the director and videographer. The church and management team have also been linked to a movement called the Seven Mountain Mandate. According to the outline, the Seven Mountain Mandate's origins trace back to 1975, when 3 prominent figures in the Christian movement, Lauren Cunningham, Bill Bright, and Francis Schaeffer, all claimed to have received the same message from God, to enter and influence life's spheres, which followers of the movement list as education, religion, family, business, government, entertainment, and media. Their end goal is to rid those institutions of demons and witchcraft, according to an article on the subject by Gawker. A popular shorthand for the mandate is 7MM, or just 7M. Does the 7M in 7M Films refer to the Seven Mountain Mandate? If the allegations are true, it's not surprising that 7M Films would target TikTok creators. These influencers would allow 7M to infiltrate 2 of life's major spheres, entertainment and media. After grasping the White House through Donald Trump's spiritual advisor Paula White, who Gawker refers to as a 7M devotee, the Wild West of social media should be an easy in. And for the dancers represented by 7M Films, social media has been easy. It's content tailor-made to go viral, and 7M's approach seems to be working. Several of 7M's 11 dancers